when we were initializing our public function here, I kinda went ahead and set the player timer to set the player borders, which is not exactly what we're going to need. We're gonna need a timer for the playWithAccelerometer function, but it's not to set the player border. It's more like to animate the player. So what this timer will do is, first, the playWithAccelerometer requires an accelerometer, and this accelerometer will be updating a variable which is going to be player speed, and then this timer will animate the player according to the player speed. So let's begin by creating the playWithAccelerometer function. So private function play, or lowercase p, play with ACC e colon mouse event colon void, and first we need to remove the welcome screen from our stage. So stage dot remove child, and the name of the welcome screen is welcome screen. And then we need to add an event listener to our accelerometer, which we're going to define now. Private variable, we'll call it accelerometer with a lowercase a. Shift type accelerometer with an uppercase A equal to a new accelerometer. Then we need to add an event listener to this accelerometer. So accelerometer dot add event listener is going to be an accelerometer event dot update. The function will be called on ACC. Okay, and now we need to start the timer for the player timer. So player timer dot start, and we also need to start animating the CPU, and that's done by adding the event listener that we've used with the playWithTouch function. Paste. And we also need to animate the ball. Okay, so now to create the function on accelerometer and animate CPU, or sorry, on accelerometer and animate player. Private function on ACC. It has an event variable of accelerometer event colon void, and now what we're going to do is this function will vary a variable which we need to define here under player timer or under player score, however you like. Private variable player speed, of type number equals 0. Okay, so in this on accelerometer function, player speed equals minus e dot acceleration x, sorry, that's lowercase a on acceleration, okay, multiplied by 20. Alright, now onto the function animate player. Private function animate player e colon timer event colon void. Now what this function will do is to update the x position of the player according to the player speed variable, and it will also set the boundaries to the left and the right of the player. So all what this function will say is player.x plus equals player speed. Now to set the boundaries for the player, just like we did before, if player.x is less than player.width over 2, then what happened here? Okay, player.x will be equal to player.width over 2. And again, if player, or let's make it else if player.x is greater than stage.stage width minus player.width over 2, then player.x will be equal to all of this. Okay, so that's it for the animate player function and the onACC function. See if we're missing something here. Startable animation, start the computer animation, start the player timer, and add event listeners. Okay, so that's pretty much it for animating the player using the accelerometer.